Welcome back to News Tower. Picking it up right where we left off. We're going to go to West Village first. This is the economy and politics focus for today. Now, what does that mean for the focus? Well, every single area on the map, what we'd really like to get are subscribers. While we can get people picking up our papers in the middle of the street, that's fine. Newsstands and stuff. Getting subscribers is going to help us really grow and make more money. This is the number of subscribers we have is up here. So what we want to do is take over these neighborhoods and get subscribers in these neighborhoods. We also have some that are purple. That's our competitors' neighborhoods. They have the subscribers. We need to kind of take over those neighborhoods if we can. And it's quite difficult to do that, but you'll see. And then we also have additional orange ones / reddish ones over here. That's a different competitor. So they have different markets and stuff. In the middle of this, though, between them, they're not taken over yet. So we're going to try to do that ourselves. So West Village, in order to get subscribers in West Village, we need to print economy and politics. As long as these two tags are in our paper, we're good to go. That's it. Pretty simple thing. Okay. We have the ability to hire some other reporters. And we have I'm looking for sports and entertainment. That's going to be Josephine Kelly. Cheap. Sports. Crime. I think the sports and entertainment is where I want to go. Josephine Kelly, you're in it. Now, what I want to do is rearrange their desks, though, so I can get the best benefit from this. So if I was to move this here, let me just see where I can move you guys around at. So if I shift you this way, let's move the trash can out of the way for a second. If I move you over here, okay, and then I shift your desk here. That way you two are still next to each other. But now... Oh, wait. What did I do? Oh, the sports people are not next to each other anymore. I went with the entertainment. Okay. Interesting. So, sports. Entertainment. There's not a way for me to really get them totally. Well, maybe. Maybe there is. So this person does not have entertainment. And this person does not have sports. This person has sports and entertainment. So there's not going to be a way for me to merge them together completely. But I can really cater it to just her desk. At least I can do that. So why don't we move you all the way over like this. We'll shift you in the center of everyone. Okay. What we can do is do something like... Probably something like this. Yeah, like that. So effectively, we are catering to the entertainment on that side. We're catering to the sports on that side. And we're getting the entertainment and sports on this side. That's how we ended up doing it. So that actually works out well. And then we have society, economics, and crime here. And we have crime and society here. Okay, so if we have any society and crime stuff, we can put that stuff right here. Okay, that's going to work out okay. I still need another political person. Another political reporter would be very good. And if I could double that up with some society, that might be good, or economics would be good. So I don't have that specifically here. We'll play it. We'll play it by ear. At least we have the perks we need where we need them at the moment. Politics, economy. Yeah, and crime is over here. Oh, and then you also have crime. Oh, okay. So we have 3 crime people now. Wow. 3 crime reporters. Okay. We're going to be good to go on that. So let's take a look at the map. And as the telegraphers come in, you can see things as they go. So we have a sports story here, which is going to veer off. And it's either going to be a triumphant story or just some gossip. We can kind of choose the angle we want to tell that story, okay? We have 2 sports writers now, but they have different perks. So there's crime here available, and there's economy here. I do need economy stories, so maybe I leave Rosalie open. We have a crime story here, too. And this is double crime. So it's crime, and then I need a crime reporter on this, too. This is going to be alarming and adventurous. Okay. Probably going to send Gary on this one first. Although he has economics as well. Okay. Why don't we send Jillian on this one, then? Jillian can go cover this. My entertainment story can be Josephine, because she's faster at it. And then we can put... on the other side of it, the sports angle, we're going to put Rosalie on the sports angle. So Rosalie will take that one. And then Josephine can take this side while Gary covers this side. We can have both of them on this one. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and zoom it ahead a little bit here. And we want to see how they're progressing. So it looks to me like this one will be done when it's finished. That's the sentence I just said. It'll be done when it's finished. 5 hours left in that guy, 11 hours left in this one. So this is what we're waiting for here. So I'm going to go that way, and we see it. Now, of course, they have the story in their hands. I can't send them immediately, but there's 2 of them ready to go at the same time. I think I'm going to go for the triumphant story here. We'll see. I don't know what the other tags that are going to show up this week are going to be, but I think I'll go for the triumphant story unless there's another gossip somewhere. But I don't think there will be any more gossip. Okay. So with that one being done, we need another crime reporter to send that way. I'm going to go with Gary. That's an adventurous, alarming story. Yeah. Let's go with Gary here. All right. Now, we could target a little bit closer, but I'm pretty confident we're going to get these tags. So I haven't bothered doing that, but that is something that we can do as well. So we have a political story over here. I just noticed. Instead of sending Rosalie here, I'm going to send Josephine instead. And I'm going to go for the triumphant angle because now I free up my political correspondent to come this way. And that gets me a new object. So let's send Rosalie that way. If I was concerned about not getting these, because I see the economy one here, right? So can we see whether economy is covered at Des Moines? I don't think it actually is yet. So maybe I shouldn't be super confident. We don't have an economy story here. So what I can do is I can click this, and that's prioritizing this. Now there's a higher degree of likeliness that when we hear a new story, it will be this topic because I need to kind of focus that down. So now when we get these cleared off the map, we're going to find our economic story right away after that. Let's take a look. So that's 14 hours away. This one's 10 hours away, and this one's 15 hours away. And of course, we could also, while we're just looking at our reporters, I think there's a way to see the progress on all of them, really, if you just kind of hover this. It tells you the date and the time that it's going to be completed, but that doesn't really give me a better readout. I'd have to come down and expand them all like this so I can see kind of where they are. I can go like order of production time maybe. And we can see that this person's reporting still, right? They're not here yet. But if I want to see just how much time is left on them, I kind of have to do this on the map, I suppose. I do wish like on hover it would say how much time is left until it disappears, but it's okay. 1 hour left. And this one's going to get us an object as well. All right, so we're probably going to find an economy story next. So let's fast forward a little bit. That's going to give us our item. There we go. And we get an election map. So we can put the election map on the wall, and that will help our political correspondence. So if I come over to politics right here, economy, or not economy, on the wall right here. There we go. Politics is going to be there. For now, that's where that's going to be. That helps their politics skill there. We don't have a politics skill there. We only have one political correspondent. We need another one. I'm not sure I like the idea of, I don't want to crisscross this. I think I'd rather, what do you have? Sports, economics. Economics is good. I have another economics over here. I can't really put you both together, but maybe if I had a political and economics reporter, just like this person is, I could double them up on this side. I'm going to re-roll this. And we end up having exactly what I was looking for right here. We have economics, politics, and then there's a little bit of crime. So we have a lot of crime coverage, honestly. If we ever have to report on crime, we can absolutely do that. Which is good because we're going for the mayor, not the mafia. And the mafia regularly wants you to not report on crime. That makes sense, right? So I think that's probably good. These are the two I really care about, though. If I had to choose another topic here, instead, I'd probably want society. That'd be the best one to do. But we're going to hire Pam Bourne. I think so, yeah. Let's grab another desk, reporter desk. We're going to slip that right here. And we're going to put Pam Bourne here. Now, Pam Bourne immediately has a buff to her politics right there. And then no buff to anything else at the moment. But as we get new items unlocked, then sure. But Pam is here now for us. Okay, let's see our economy story. There we go. A couple of economy stories. So this one's an unraveling one. We can put Pam right on that. Although, low concentration. Hang on. Oh, it's lighting. She doesn't have the light. She doesn't have light. There we go. Your concentration should now improve. It says low concentration still, which is a little weird. But whatever. I'm going to put you on that anyway. And then we have another economics piece here, and we will put Gary on that one, just in case there's another politics article coming out. Okay. So that takes care of everything. Actually, the only thing left on the map, there's 2 more stories, and they're both crime related. We can tell that because all these other ones are expended. So we're going to see a crime story here in a second, which is good because we got people who have crime skill just sitting around doing nothing. So I suppose that's neat. All right. Oh, here we go. Breaking news, Telegram. Unemployment is on the rise. The employment numbers are out. The Department of Labor says 1.5 million more workers have lost their jobs since the beginning of the recession, and there's no end in sight. But hey, tragedy sells, right? So this one is a breaking news story that can pop up at any time. It probably has certain years and certain months or whatever that they pop up, but it's not included in the original stories that were here. It's an extra thing. And if we do this breaking news story, then we can ignite a fire. People are going to race to the papers for a certain topic. It's going to give a bonus to a very specific tag. In this case, 2 times the sales for every economic tag that we are using. But we have to send reporters here within 1 day, whenever the time limit is. In this case, it's 1 day. So we have to act fast on that. Okay? So Rosalie can go to it. And unfortunately, I have 16 hours in these other ones. So that's very close because they're also going to have to walk back. So what I could do, since this one's the one on a timer, what I could do is I could say, hey, we just sent you on these stories. Some things are more important than others. It sucks because these are stories that will be hot, right? But this one only has 1 element to deal with. This one has only 1 element to deal with too. So I guess I could just wait the 16 hours. It says one day left. But you kind of have to put this in the paper though. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull Gary off the story. Who's faster? Yeah, Pam with her low concentration's not faster. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull Gary off this for now. And I'm gonna stick him on the other story instead so that it can get this finished. Now that resets the clock on this. You need a full 1 day to research that. But I'm hoping to get the breaking news story instead, because it makes all the other stories better. And that's what's that's what's needed. So 10 hours on that. We'll clear that off. Here's our crime story. And we can send, Josephine, doesn't really matter. Jillian, either one. We can send them over to get that down too. All right, we'll zoom that ahead. And then we need Pam to go ahead and get that one now. All right, we have another story on the map. This is the final one. We'll send you for the crime. And this is going to give us an object to address crime too. So we did the big breaking news story this week. And so economics is going to be a hot topic now, which means every economics tag we use we're going to get double the sales for that tag. So it's kind of a big deal that we get this one. I'm going to add a priority to this. So as this comes through, our typesetters, our assemblers, they will choose this over other ones once it gets to their desk. Once it's possible to work on it, they'll choose this over the other ones. And hopefully that will speed it up a little bit, because if I order these, you can see that our hot topic articles are kind of at risk of not being done in time. Yeah, that's a big deal. And unfortunately, it's a big deal. This one should finish. This one may not finish. But this one is definitely not finishing. That's really unfortunate, but it is the way it is. Now, I could maybe hire another typesetter. That could speed it up. Another assembler could speed it up. And I'm thinking that's what I'm probably going to do. Let's see if I can make that happen. If I add another assembly table and another typesetting desk, let's hire somebody else. You got a big eater here. Caffeine connoisseur. 50% work speed increase for 2 days after drinking coffee. Can't offer coffee yet, but maybe I will in the future. I think we'll take Clarence. He's cheaper and faster at the typesetter job. So we'll put Clarence here. And then on the assembler job, kind of just going to choose the cheapest one on. But Big Eater is probably worth it. I don't know. I guess he'll spend less time going to the water cooler, but the water cooler is right next to their desk anyway. So that's not going to make a big difference. Maybe I will get this guy just because it's better than having a no trait. And once we do get coffee, he'll benefit from it. So maybe we'll do that. Okay, cool. Wow, we're low on paper over here. So let's go ahead and get another delivery of paper. And I don't think I can pull things off of the shelf. That part I don't think I can do. Maybe I can. Oh, I can. Yes, I can. Toilet paper. There you go. Added more toilet paper there. And then I can go like this. Put it over in the printer from there. Oh, that's not it. Right here. There we go. So I can do that. I needed more paper anyway, so we'll get the delivery. With additional typesetters here in the light, with additional typesetters here, I'm hoping that we can speed this up because the typesetting process can now progress a little bit faster than it otherwise would have progressed. So we'll see how that goes. So now there's 3 of them working on it, 2 of them working on it, right? Hoping that helps. Hello, crime board. Our crime reporting is about to get even better. So let's come on over here. Not necessarily better, but it's going to be faster, and that's a really important thing. Lots and lots of people have crime. So I'm going to put you there, and then I'm going to put another one over here. Yeah, double that up for them. Put it as low as possible. Yeah, this is fine. I might have to shift them around, but it's okay. So big bumps to the amount of time that it takes us, or rather reductions to the amount of time that it's going to take us to report crime stories. Love it, love it. We're probably going to get a resupply person pretty soon. And actually, the durability on things is going to start going a little lower here, so I might need to start getting things repaired pretty quickly. Sunday, final day. I am wondering if we are going to get this in time now. It looks like 23 hours left on that story. Ugh. This one's going to actually progress fast enough to complete now, though. So we will get this. The other crime story doesn't look like it'll finish in time, but we have enough stories, I think, to make this work. Now, you're going to notice that we have a lot more stories than we had before, right? Some of these were not finished gathering all the information at the end of next week. So they are not stale topics. They are not old, okay? That's an important distinction. If you have a topic, like if you know where you're going, and this is kind of be something that I do as I play here. It's a little kind of metagamey, but it's a good strategy. It's kind of a strategy game, right? Let me just use examples here. If I know that I'm going to East Village next, East Village has economics and politics. If I see stories on the map that are economics and politics, but I know that my paper this week doesn't really work with one of these topics, but it will work for the next week because I know where I'm going next week, what I can do is I can time my reporters getting here basically late. Put it off and put your reporters on it still, but do it late so that it doesn't go through the entire assembly process by the end of the current week. If the story finishes at the assembly process the following week, it is going to be fresh for that week, okay? If you assemble it and finish it this week, so it's green and you could have used it, but you didn't, it becomes a stale article. It loses its value. It loses a lot of value and a lot of impact. So if you want to have a story and you know that you're going to need a certain type of story for the following week, you can kind of time when those things complete. So as a result, the sports article and the entertainment article that we had last week is not considered stale because it actually wasn't done being assembled last week. It finished this week. So it's one way to do it. Okay, so as we get our paper organized here, we know that these are going to have a bigger impact today. This has more tags. I just want to see the difference. So if I put you here, that's going to give me 22,500, 1,500 as my bonus. If I put you here instead, see, so even though this is a hot topic for this week, it's still better to use the one that has more tags on this spot. So we want to kind of do that. The bottom half then, we're going to put you here, and then we're going to have these two articles join you on the second page. There we go. We must print now. So we're going to have this one join you on the second page instead. We're going to get bonuses to sales on that side. So in this one here, we have crime, alarming, and adventurous. Okay, we have crime and alarming right here. So we can put that there. We get double the bonuses on that, which is good. And then from there, we don't really have a whole lot. The thing is, we have to print a politics story this week or we don't get the full benefit of the subscribers. We actually have one political tag done. So you can place that here. That's going to check both of the boxes and try to maximize, hopefully, how many sales we're going to get, how many papers we're going to sell. These stories, unfortunately, are going to end up being stale. So I could maybe look at targeting something different here to see if it works, but I don't think it will because there's not as many tags. But maybe because it does have overlap on both, it could work better. Let's try it. So we can see that we're getting 62,500 total sales. If I do this, if I do this, and then I do this, and I do, I have to do the political story, don't I? Yeah. Okay. It's not gonna matter because I have to add the political one in there. So this is the most optimal paper for us this week, unfortunately. So these are going to end up going stale. And I didn't quite get this. It's considered sloppy production too. So people just didn't do it very well, unfortunately. So I wouldn't be able to use it anyway, but even when I can use it, it's kind of sloppy. Since I'm not really going to be focusing on crime next week anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and have them remove this from their list so they don't spend any more time on it. I'm not going to use a sloppily produced story. All right, so these are going to end up being stale next week, unfortunately. And that's kind of the way it goes, yeah. But we'll maximize our sales this week by having that economic stories all over right here. All right, go. $62,500 papers sold. Yay! All right, we're at 28.57. And we're getting subscribers now. First time we've ever gotten subscribers. It's going to help us scale up our business. We're going to get more and more money every week, hopefully. So now that we're here, we're going to go to East Village next. That's going to give me access to the mayor. Then I'm going to head this direction. So throughout this, we have to get economy again. Then we have triumphant and hopeful. We're going to look for society and entertainment and see if we can get some of those stories as well. Because we know these are going to exist. They may not be the actual hot topic, but we know they're going to exist in Bayonne. So we're going to look for that if we have it. All right. So we'll select this district. We don't have access to any of these special interest groups yet. So let's just go ahead and do another one right now. Okay. These guys are low on paper too. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll help you out with that. Okay. Here you go. You can have paper. Okay. Look, more paper for you. More paper for you. Now I realize I can have a person do this for them, but it saves me money not doing it. And it takes me relatively it's just a little bit of time. It's not that big of a deal. 390 paper is enough in there too. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and look for stories. These are now considered old news. They're stale. Okay. We can use them to fill pages, but they're not the ideal articles to use anymore. If we need it though, we can use it. And there is a triumphant story here. We can use it to clear this. Old news can work for these requirements. Sometimes these are not, it's not good enough. You need scoops. We'll look at that later. So we have Alabama winning their title here. Now we know that a triumphant story is likely to appear in politics and sports, hopeful, economy and society, and there's economy. So we know economy is a good one to go with. We're going to focus that. And we already have a triumphant piece, so I'm not really going to focus that too much, but this is also a triumphant article. We don't need this because we can clarify this, or we can clear this anyway. But it's our first story, and I would like to see what the other telegraphing stations are going to see before I send them there. All right. So economics is something we really need, and this gives us an item. And then there is an entertainment piece here that counts as gossip eventually. There's also has an economy tag. So why don't we send you there. We'll send Gary to this one. And then we'll send Pam here. And then our sports reporting can be Rosalie. Everybody's got a story. Go. Okay. We're probably going to watch this one. Although the sports one is done now. I can send people off once they come back, so never mind. And then this one will get cleared as soon as she's done. And the telegrapher will go right back to work. Bookkeeping. Love it. This is going to help our economics reporting. Okay, so we want to add that to their desks. So we're going to come over. Well, I want to do that too, but we're going to come over here. And let's take out economy, bookkeeping. So we got to put this on their desk. So I'm going to put this here. And I can put this here and here. That's going to make their economy reporting a little bit faster. Going to be good that way. This is dirty. So the sweeper here that picks up the trash and everything, they don't actually clean like that. That's not their job, unfortunately. So this person that does this job is the person who's going to be at the washing station. That's unfortunate. I didn't want to use this person yet, but I will. Washing station, and why don't we get the cheap guy? That's fine. Yeah. Athletic now. You get the cheap guy. All right. Now you can go and clean the bathrooms. And since we have this now and we're doing this, and we are making some pretty good money, I suppose, why don't we go ahead and get the resupply desk guy here too? So we'll get the resupply desk guy, and then that person is now actually going to be you, right? Yes, when carrying crates. That's what I like. So you, the resupply person, will go here instead. Hang on. Workplace. I'm moving you to here. I have to take you off of your workplace first like this, don't I? And put you here instead. Yeah, transporting. You're a good transporter as well. There you go. And then the sweeping station can just be the resilient person who has their concentration recovering faster. Man, I'd like to not have that be, but okay, fine. All right, we have staff doing staff things. We now have a resupply person. We do not have a person fixing things just yet. We're going to need another floor. So I'm going to have to save up my money a little bit here so I can get the workbench and stuff started, because that's going to be very important next week or the week after that. Yeah. Okay. So we can send Rosalie here. And this economy piece now turns into an entertainment piece. That's Josephine's territory. All right. And now, hopeful. There's another triumphant article, and we can go either direction, but not both. So which one do we care more about? So really it comes down to how many of these different tags we already have. So economy and politics. So economy here. We have a triumphant story here. We have another triumphant story here. We could go towards that. We don't have a lot of politics stories this week, and we don't need a lot of politics stories this week. But this is society and entertainment. Okay. So we don't need a politics story. We could put the economic angle on this instead. I think I kind of like that idea. It doesn't allow us to dip into triumphant, but it lets us get more economy stories piled together, and I like that. So we'll go this way. Okay. What else we got here? So you're done. That's a gossip piece now. Congrats. You're now a gossip columnist. We have 4 more stories to find, and we have all the tags. We're fine there. We don't need any more. I guess we needed hopeful too, right? Did we have? That's the first hopeful tag we had. See, I didn't even bother to look at that. So I'm glad we did this anyway because of the hopeful tag. We might not have had that in time if I didn't do that. On that note, I think probably want to prioritize this story to make sure that it happens. It's a little bit late to do that, but I'd like to punch that up a little bit. So we're gonna put this kind of to the front of the line here and make sure it gets done, because it is Wednesday already. 4 more stories to find and no more economic pieces. So Maybe we go try to find a sports piece to go with the triumphants that we have. This is dirt. All right, Josephine can do this one. What is going on with Rosalie here? Concentration is too low. Let's take a look at what's going on there. This is Lillian. Whose desk is this? Okay, so Rosalie, your needs. Is it like a food need thing? 71% concentration. I'd like to know what your what the reason is for that. It's food. Getting food. Okay, so it's this. Yeah, the water cooler. That's not a big deal. We could, though, if I take and maybe move this trash can in the middle of the room a little bit, and then I could, just to help this along a little better, place a water cooler down here. That would help speed that up a little bit as far as their travel time goes to get to it. And now they will, see, now this one's broken, though, so now they have to go to this one. At least I added redundancy before we have a repair guy. Okay. This is a more complicated story, but it's worth exploring. There's a couple of things to consider here, though. We have a crime story to research, okay? I'm going to put Lillian on that. Now, once she's done, we have two different paths. This path brings us up to something that could result in this reporter getting injured. Not necessarily, but there's a decent chance they're going to get injured. If they complete this, they will they'll basically blow up the bomb. The bomb is here. So if they complete this one, then they can't get this one. So we need to do this one first, essentially. Or at the bare minimum, we have to have sent someone here before that path is destroyed. Okay? So we're going to have to take a look at that one. We have a society piece here too. Now, you kind of want to know who I'm sending where, because if the reporter I send here gets injured, they can't report for several days, which means they can't cover the story. So I need like two people basically for this one. So both of you are available. If I send Pam here and she gets injured, Gary needs to do the story. There's only one person getting injured. So if the first person gets injured, this goes away and then it's free and clear from there. But it's possible that you'll have to have two reporters. So for that reason, I don't want to send Gary there and I don't want to send Pam there. I'm going to send Rosalie to this one. I can choose one or the other. In this case, we have a political and unrest. And we have a society piece. Now, the society piece, interestingly enough, if we do this, it's useful for next week, right? So I might want to wait a little bit longer and then send her on Friday for this one. We have only one story left to find, and she's not really doing much of anything else. So I'll just make sure I prioritize other things. So why don't we send Rosalie to this one? Oh, we can't. Oh, we can't. She doesn't have the society. The only one that can do this is Gary. Okay. Well, I'm going to send him. He's not going to be available for the other thing if we get injured. So I'm going to have to... Yeah, but I really want to get that other story. The good news is I can wait on this one, right? I don't have to bother with this because I'm going to have it next week anyway, right? So it's not a big deal. I want to make sure he's available for this story. So I'm going to hold off on that one a little bit. Okay. So both of these paths are now available. Let's send Pam. Yeah, sorry, Pam. Let's send Pam here, and we'll see if they get injured. They are definitely getting injured. That's the worst. So they're going to be in the hospital for 3 days, unfortunately. I think the middle one is 1 day. All the way to the left is like critical fail, and then all the way to the right is success and no one's injured. So Pam is totally out for 3 days. Luckily, we don't really have any stories for her to cover anyway. And Gary is now free to go right up here and take that. We need him. Oh, wait, sorry. Nope, not that. Sorry. We need this one first. This one first. Okay. And then we can actually send Jillian or Josephine. Either one of these can go there instead. Okay. And then we need then the other one, whoever we don't send, Jillian. If we don't send, then we can send them to this one instead. I like it. Okay. Sounds fine. So we're going to get this part first before we blow it up, basically. All right. Josephine is available. We can now send you to here. Even if this completes first, which it will, 18 hours, 1 day, 2 hours. Even if this completes first, because my reporter is already here, when the path explodes, he's still there. It doesn't stop that. You just have to make sure you're sending someone there first. Okay, and then I do want to take the society angle to this, and I want to take it late for next week anyway, so we'll put Jillian there. Another society piece. Good. We can use it for next week. Perfect. Make sure we have somebody ready. No? Quite yet. There we go. In their hands. And Gary's ready. Here you go. And Jillian can go to that side. Okay, so we got all the stories, and we have reporters on all the stories. Very good. Now it's just a matter of getting them all set up and ready to go. This one is 1.5 days. That's very, very tight. I'm going to go ahead and have that prioritized, see if we can't maybe push this ahead. This one isn't going to get done anyway, which is fine because these are the society pieces I have for next week. So it's really this one that I want to push forward. By prioritizing it, I can kick it up ahead of their list. They don't focus on it over here. Like, I don't want them to do this one, right? I don't want them to like start working on any of these. So hopefully they get this done in time. It's now at 18 hours. Yeah, that should get done in time. Good. Okay. So lots of stories this week. Very nice. Very nice. Just make sure we have a good enough paper. 390. And I can afford a little bit more paper. Let's get another big paper delivery. We're not in debt yet. Which, to be honest, that's not going to last because we need a repair guy and we need another floor. So, you know, I'm going to borrow money to get another floor. Ooh, solar system poster. +2 to society articles. Very nice. Now, where can I put that, though? Let's go here, and it's in society. There we go. Solar system poster. It has to be over here. Perfect. Both of our society people are there. So, there we go. I need to fix this. I can probably fit you here instead. I didn't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. So I don't need another floor. I want to make sure I don't need another floor. Put you there. Stick the workbench here. Oh, man. That's not good. Well, the athletic one is fine. Jill, you're in. Okay, now we can have somebody go fix things. All right, I don't have to bother with a second floor necessarily yet. And by second floor, I mean fourth floor. There we go. Scanning ahead. There we go. And hopefully this one finishes. 3 hours. Oh, my. That prioritization was required, man. Come on, get it done. Ah! Done. Just in time. Wife dies at supper. Just in time. Okay. So these are the only 2 stories I didn't want to complete this week anyway. I want to complete them next week so that they're not stale. So let's take a look and see what we got by resiness. So this is probably the best one to put at the front page because it has a silver tag. And the silver tag are worth 5K or more. Yeah. So that already 32,000 just from that. Now we want to put some stories here that maybe mesh with that if we could. I don't have a whole lot of stories that mesh with that though, unfortunately. So that may not be the better call. We have a lot of economy. We have a few sports stories. Let's say, well, you know what? I'm going to have to change this up. I don't know if this is the right call. I guess we'll see. So right now we have 20,000. Obviously this is going to go lower. But if we can put the economic stories with it. So that gives me 32,000 sales. Yeah. So it's still better to put this here. Yeah, this is still better to put here. So I think the economy stories are going to shift to page 2. And we can put both of them in here. The hopeful. We need a triumphant story. That's the sports stories. And we have some dirt as well. So we can go in and put this here. And unfortunately, our first page really doesn't mesh with each other very well. I could probably get more out of it if I used the old news instead of this one. because we will have a second triumphant tag, they'll complement each other. Let's see. So if this one raises it by 2.5, that gives us the 72,000 sales. If I use the old news instead, bumps it even higher because it's going to, you know, the triumphant piece kind of goes with that. And then just because I'm curious, I don't think it'll actually happen, but just because I'm curious, yeah. So that doesn't really work as well. This is still better. I know it says that it goes down 2.5 because of the sports loss on that, but it's really the sales numbers that I'm looking at and care about, and that one's significantly higher. So I think that's where we're going to go here for this week. We end up with these old news will just disappear. This one will become old news, and then these two will be ready for next week as fresh news. I like it. Okay, let's go ahead and start that. And then importantly, we get the subscribers as well. So 73,500 record sales. Yeah, sweet. So we're up to 2750 now. Hello, East Village. Okay, so we're down to 1655 after expenses though. Now we're gonna get access to the mayor now. That was the big thing I wanted to do. Now we're gonna head to Bayonne, Society and Entertainment. But before we do that, let's talk to the mayor. Start growing the numbers is the task. It says, good morning. You're the new publisher, right? The mayor will see you now. Interview, you say? Ha! I've seen your little rag around town. Must be a slow news day if you're resorting to chasing after me, eh? This city has a lot more pressing matters, publisher. I don't have the luxury of entertaining every media outlet, especially the smaller ones. The mayor is a busy man. Better luck next time. Okay, so in order to get this, sell 74,000 newspapers. If we do this, we will gain reputation with the mayor, but we will lose reputation with the mafia. Anytime we help the mayor, we get negative with the mafia. Anytime we help the mafia, we get negative with the mayor. They're always linked that way. So, and this is going to also give us 2 additional reputation, which is hugely important. Sorry, not reputation. It's influence points. There it is. Hugely important because the influence points are basically research points. They're basically how we use things to unlock other things. Okay, so we want a lot of those things. So we need to sell 74,000 newspapers this week. Last week we sold 73,500, I think it was. We got just under that mark. And we did that in East Village where there are 3, right? So going here for 2, it's probably not as good. It might be better for us to go to Central Park here, which I don't have any spare tags left over for that, unfortunately. But it might be better to go to Central Park only because there's 3 tags here and the population is bigger. So there's more. It's more likely for us to be able to hit that. I care really deeply, though, about getting these extra pages and stuff. The pages are going to really help us bump this up. So going this way doesn't help me as much. It gives me access to Columbia University, which I think is neat. But I really want to spend my influence points on the things that matter most in the long term. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and not accept the mayor for now. I got access to him, but I'm not going to do this one because of this. So I'm going to say no on that for now. We're going to go to Bayonne anyway and get down to here. So if I do this, then I'll do the mayor's thing for Tompkinsonville because then I have this higher population. Okay. And then I can rock that on the higher population instead. So I'm basically waiting an extra 2 weeks to start building reputation with the mayor. I don't know if that's a smart play, but there's going to be plenty of weeks in the future where we don't do things for the mayor anyway. So, you know, I think long term, I focus on what's more important for my paper, and that's getting access to another telegraphing station and another page. I need 12 influence points for this, though. So if I don't have 12 influence points by the time I get there, and another 4 here. So 16 total influence points by the time I get there. Hopefully I can get that to happen. Maybe with his help. If I'm hitting Tompkinsonville, I'll get his help on that. So I need to come up with like 6 influence points on my own. I think we can maybe make that happen. So we're going to go ahead and not do the mayor's thing today. And we'll do it later. Okay, so Bayonne is next. We're going to hit that. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I hope you come back for the next one. It's News Tower. I'm excited to keep going. Bye-bye.